There is no excuse for cheating. Let me repeat that so you guys can get it through your head. There is no excuse, there is no turning back, and there is no forgiveness. Not on earth, maybe in heaven, but not on earth for cheating. Yo, welcome back, friends, to another special edition of Psychopath Exposure. I know it's been a while, but we have a lot to cover today, don't we? So what I want to cover today is that incessable, obsessive, sometimes skewed self-observation that we make after we get away from the narcissistic entanglement. And we start thinking that maybe we are the toxic ones, that maybe we were the narcissist, right? And that this whole thing that played out, it was really our fault, that we're the ones that caused it. Now, as you know, I'm a firm believer that we attract what we are. I believe like attracts like. I believe that when you're vibing at a high frequency, you start attracting better opportunities, you start attracting better friends, better people, your social circle expands. It's like you're in an upwards trajectory, positive, positive, positive. You have more self-confidence, more self-worth, more self-esteem, more ideas, business, travel plans. You get excited about things. You start seeing the good in every situation. You start treating problems as opportunities. You know, you've heard the old cliche, and if you haven't, well, pay attention. You also know the flip side to that is when you're vibrating at a low frequency, low paradigm, you start experiencing all sorts of depression, anxiety, just this negative outcome, negative outlook, actually. The people that you start attracting are people that just want to focus on gossip and problems at work and complaints and politics and all this, just all this trash that just keeps you in this perpetual state of nonsense, right? And you ask yourself, why am I stuck in the same place that I just can't seem to get out of? Okay, how come these people, how come things just bounce off of them and nothing bothers them? And how come everything affects me and I feel like I'm just getting worse by the day and worse by the day? You know, for years I was trying to figure out why this is, okay? And it's okay, I'll give you a perfect example. You know when you buy a new car and all of a sudden you drive out the lot and it seems that everyone's driving the same car and you're like, wait a second. I never saw this model before. I just saw it at the dealership. I fell in love with it. Nobody has it. Nobody's talking about this. I'm going to be unique. I'm going to be special. I'm going to be the cool one driving this badass vehicle that no one has ever seen before. And it's affordable. Okay? And then you drive out the lot and everybody has it. Okay? Guess what, guys? Those vehicles were always there. It's just that your selective focus of your brain was elsewhere. It was not paying attention to cars, or in particularly not that model. Okay, maybe you had your heart set on another car, but just not that one, and just that one it just never fell into your radar of focus. Okay, that's called the reticular activation system, and you can Google that. Reticular activation system, okay, RAS. And what happens is you start focusing more and you start noticing more of those things. So haven't you noticed how now the algorithm on social media, on YouTube, Facebook, and whatnot, you know they're listening. So if you're having a conversation with your friends and all of a sudden you notice how, oh, look, that popped up there. What a coincidence, right? But then we know that's the algorithm, but what about when those coincidences start happening outside of YouTube, outside of social media? Like you're thinking about someone and then someone calls you and then you call that serendipity, right? And you start seeing someone that you would never talk about something. Now they start talking about that, or you're watching a movie and they mention the very same thing that you were just talking about. Now, it's debatable whether that's serendipitous, is that right? Just rib me in the comments if I butchered that one. It's debatable whether that means that we're actually on the path, right? That's like a synchronicity. I'm supposed to quote, right? A synchronicity, that we're exactly where we belong, and I'm a firm believer in that too. But sometimes It's just that our selective focus, okay, is paying attention to those moments of synchronicity where before you wouldn't even notice it, okay? And that's what happens when you're in a toxic entanglement with a psychopath, with a narcissist. You have this brain fog that doesn't let you see synchronicities in your life, doesn't let you see patterns, doesn't let you notice situations that are good for you or bad for you, because you're so poisoned. And it's like you have this veil that's blocking your vision. So a lot of you people come to me and you start telling me these things, and you're trying to have a compelling argument. And I can definitely see both sides of the story, because I've also been many times in that place where I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I was the narcissist. Maybe I'm the one, right, that did these things that pushed the other person away. And I'm always looking at that. But you know what? The truth is that if you were dealing with someone that was narcissistic or has a personality disorder, they had a predisposition for that they were playing that role. They had that mask on, okay? They were playing the part to get out of you what they felt they needed to be happy, or whatever narcissistic supply they were after. When you did that thing that you think makes you a narcissist, and that triggered the real narcissist to do the things that they did to you, you have to realize that that was a narcissistic injury. Therefore, their retaliation and the cruel things that they did back that were inhuman, right? It's because they have no sense of empathy, because they really never loved you, because they cannot actually feel these types of emotions, and they just do shit, and they don't really care what happens, who gets hurt, or how bad they can traumatize you. Let me give you an example. There is no excuse for cheating. Let me repeat that so you guys can get it through your head. There is no excuse, there is no turning back, and there is no forgiveness. Not on earth, maybe in heaven, but not on earth, for cheating. When you are with your partner and you are an infidel, you should burn in fucking hell. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because you had every opportunity to just call it quits. It takes more effort to cheat than to just not cheat. It takes more effort to go behind the back on your partner and have to lie and hide phone calls and hide texts and mix stories around than just being honest. Just honest. Hey, you know what? This is not working out. I'm not attracted to you anymore, or I'm in a stage of my life where I need more in this relationship. I need this, I need that. It doesn't matter how superficial you want to be. It really doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck. Just be honest. Okay? Just be honest. But they're not. So they go and they cheat on you and they scar you and they traumatize you, right? Now, why is it that most victims of narcissistic abuse can make a compelling argument that, hey, maybe I should stay with them. Maybe it was my fault that they cheated. And the reason they cheated is because I did this X, Y, Z. And I can't leave them. I just can't see myself without them. And it's like, hold on a second. If we were to remove all of your emotion, this emotional attachment, this trauma bond that you have to this toxic person, and we just got a blank sheet of paper and I tell you, hey, list the 5 things that you want, that you're looking for in a relationship, or list the 5 things that you saw from this person at the beginning that they were giving you. Put them down. Are they giving you that now? I can guarantee that infidelity was not one of the things you wrote down. And if you didn't have this trauma bond, if you weren't attached to this person, and if you didn't have the fear of being alone and wondering if you're going to find someone else, if you didn't have that, and you came from this from a detached point of view, you'd easily agree with me. Oh, absolutely not. A cheater? Fuck that. Hell no. You know that. Think about how many friends of yours in your lifetime have come to you and told you, hey, my wife cheated on me. I think my husband's having an affair. Did any of you guys out there tell them, hey, you know what? You need to work it out. Yeah, they're banging someone else, but forgive, turn the other cheek. You probably didn't say that because you're not emotionally invested or emotionally attached to that person's spouse. So you can see very clear, and you clearly can tell them, hey, tell that piece of shit to pack up and go. You deserve better, girl. You know you guys would say that. You know you guys would say that. But this is why people don't understand the shit that we've been through. When you're emotionally attached and traumatized to a psychopath, to a narcissist, you know that narcissistic energy is intoxicating. So they cheat on you, they betray you, they lie to you, they have an affair, they triangulate you, they gaslight you. And you still want to work it out. You still want and hope and pray that they come back. You give them another chance. You give them 30 chances. Even though every time you do, things get worse, doesn't it? Every time you do, every time you double down and you give your lying, cheating, toxic ex another chance, they fuck shit up even more, don't they? But if you didn't have this trauma bond, if you weren't emotionally attached to them, you'd easily let them go. Easily. Now, and when I say easily, I'm not saying you wouldn't cry, you wouldn't be sad, you wouldn't go through a funk for a short period of time after the breakup, because that's normal. I mean, anybody that gets lied to or cheated on like that, it's gonna feel a broken heart. They're gonna feel betrayed. They're gonna feel all sorts of dark, and they're gonna feel like the world just like removed the floor from under you. It's a horrible, horrible feeling, and you just don't get over it the next morning, do you? It's not something you can just cure overnight. But it boggles me how we just want to give these people a second, third, fourth, 50th chance. Do you know what happens, guys, every time you do that? Every time you double down on someone toxic like this, they lose respect for you. Totally. They don't even know it, but they feel it subconsciously. Okay? Think about it like this. Okay? This is for the ladies out there. If you were to have an affair with your husband and your husband took you back and he caught you guys in bed, it's no secret the affair was happening, and it was happening for a long time, not just once. It was happening for a long time. And he takes you back. Dig deep, ladies. Do you have any respect for this man? Does this man all of a sudden look like an alpha in your eyes that's going to protect you, and he's going to be strong and not take shit from nobody? It's going to look kind of weak. You just slept with another man. You had another man's thing inside you, and this guy, instead of like doing what he needs to do, probably what you would want him to do, which is why you're probably having an affair in the first place, because he's not stepping up his game, you're not going to look at him the same. And gentlemen, if your girl cheats on you, okay? If your girl cheats on you and you put your foot down and you throw her to the curb, she's going to crawl back. Isn't she? They always do, because they respect you. That means that you have boundaries. And that's the secret. Boundaries. Boundaries is what apparently none of us had when we got into this entanglement in the first place. We saw the red flags. I know you guys saw the red flags because we talk about it all the time. I saw the red flags all the time. That's why I know this shit. I would see the red flags, and when it was time to take action, I was like, oh, she doesn't care if I break up with her. I'm going to have to be alone. Oh, man. What if I never meet a girl as hot as this one? Oh, my God, what if I never have sex again? Oh my God, what if I grow old? All this shit starts pouring in, right? Like an open faucet just starts pouring in. So you stay, and now they lose respect for you. Doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. They will cheat again. I promise you. Promise you. Once a cheater, always a cheater. You don't want to be with someone like that. You deserve better. Absolutely. You deserve better, and you know it. The problem is your brain doesn't believe this right now. So this goes back to the beginning of the video, the reticular activation system. Right now, if you've been discarded, you've been cheated on, and you've been lied to and betrayed, Now your reticular activation system, since you're in this trauma bond, you start looking at the narcissist with rose-colored glasses. And you start focusing, selectively focusing on all the good times you had. And it's like, oh man, I wish they were still here. I wish we could just talk this through. It's like, I'm not even mad anymore. I'm not even mad anymore. Like, can we just cuddle and just watch our favorite movie again like we used to, and just cook like we used to, you know, and just have makeup sex and plan a trip together. Like, it would be so great if we can just put this behind us. But you're not grounded right now when you're having those thoughts. You're in this dark place, this very lonely place at the bottom of the funnel. And you're looking at them with rose-colored glasses. And sure, you had an incredible time at the beginning. I did. We all did. The narcissist always puts up the best front. But that's not reality. Reality is, if they came back, right away, within an hour, you would remember the reason why you were so unhappy with them in the first place. Because right away, they would show you a little mischief in their personality. Right away, you'll notice something, like they'll look at their phone and they'll act funny, and right away you'll be like, you're still seeing that other dude, aren't you? Like you know, like they'll come back and you'll ask them, and it's like, okay, so what do you want to talk about? Like what's up with that dude? What's up with that girl? And I got rid of them. Oh, I don't care if they set themselves on fire. Okay, so what happened? And I just told them never to contact me again, and I blocked them. You blocked them? Like when? Oh, a few days ago. What? Like, so that sounds like a discard. First of all, that sounds like a discard. You just told someone, hey, it's not gonna work out, and never text me again, and blocked. And it just happened a few days ago, and you're back in my house. See, right away you'll notice something's wrong here. And your anxiety, mind you, the anxiety that you haven't felt in a while since they left, returns instantly. Oh, but Kira, but I still have anxiety. It's a different anxiety that you have after discard. You have the anxiety of replaying the tape, the rumination, and it takes you back to those moments where you were walking on eggshells, where the betrayal happened, and you're reliving it and reliving it and reliving it. Yes, that gives you anxiety. You get horrible anxiety in the morning. First thing in the morning, you wake up, that anxiety just, boom, just hits you like a bomb, right? But you do not have that anxiety of wondering if they're cheating on you, wondering if whether that other person, if the new supply even knows you exist, wondering if you have plans this weekend. You're afraid to even ask your narcissistic partner, like, are we doing something Saturday night? Because you know that if they gave you some rotten excuse, it's because they're going off with the other girl or the other dude. So you're walking on eggshells. You don't know how your weekend's going to look. Well, once they're out of your life, you don't have that anymore. And what you really need to do is focus on that. The selective focus needs to be on how better your life is already getting, even though it feels like hell. And I'll cover that in another video. It feels like hell because of the trauma bond. When you're in a trauma bond, it feels worse when they're gone than when they're actually there. And I'll cover that in another video in detail. But despite that, remember, that's because of the addiction that you have to the person. So you're experiencing sort of like a withdrawal symptom. However, that anxiety, that walking on eggshells, that impending doom no longer exists because there's no one there for that to manifest anymore. There's no need to be walking on eggshells because there's no one to walk around. There's no, I fucked it up. There's no one to walk on eggshells around anymore, right? So focus on that. Focus on these things that you never signed up for in the beginning. Did any of you guys, if you guys did the assignment that I just gave you, I don't know how long ago, to write down the 5 things you wanted in a relationship, did any of you guys write walking on eggshells, severe anxiety, a feeling of impending doom, infidelity, cognitive dissonance? Did you guys write that down? Probably not. Probably not. So remember, when this piece of shit, loser, walks out of your life, and remember, they walked out of your life the minute they cheated on you. Don't waste another minute remembering the good times, because that's only going to keep you in a state of delusion. Okay? And it's going to weaken you to the truth. That's right. Weaken you to the truth. Instead of awakening to the truth, it's going to weaken you to the truth. I just made that up. Okay? And that means that you're going to become weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And all of a sudden, what you think is true is no longer true. And if they do hoover you, and believe me, they always do, at least once. If they do hoover you, you will let them back in. Why? Because you filled your mind with all of this rose-colored glasses memorabilia that you keep doing to yourself. What you need to do, if you want to get better from this fast, is what nobody wants to do. You have to condemn them to hell and keep that in the foreground of your mind. Now, that doesn't mean smear their name. That doesn't mean, rip them apart. That doesn't mean, talk all this shit and get them fired from work or anything crazy like that. Doesn't mean going to set their house on fire. None of that. So, guys, I know you feel crazy, but don't go do stupid shit like that, okay? Because it's not going to work in your favor, okay? This is one of those times where you just got to, let them go, okay? But in the meantime, when that rumination happens, when they pop into your head, you have to kill that thought right away. And yes, I'll make another video about that, because that takes a lot of meditation and a lot of skill building in order to monitor your thoughts and bring them back to where you want. But we'll cover that in another video. However, the idea here is that when you remember them, I know it sucks. I know it sucks, but you have to remember them for who they were when they betrayed you, not who they were when things were good. Because that person that was so loyal, that was so attracted to you, so loving, so giving, that person that you would look at them in their eye and you would see love, that person no longer exists. And if you were dealing with a full-blown psychopath or a full-blown top-tier narcissist, there was never any love to begin with. Okay, I know there's some low-tier narcissists or some people with all sorts of different personality disorders where the traits kind of cross over. There's a little crossover. So some of these people genuinely do love you and genuinely care for you. Because I've seen it, I've experienced it, and I see it in pictures. You see the pictures, how into you they were for years, and you see their eyes with a genuine smile, and then towards the end, once they're seeing someone else, once they're triangulating you and they're living that double life, you can see the guilt in their face and in their eyes. It's a guilt-driven look, and it sucks to look at that. I know it's tough to have to burn those memories away, but hey, you can't delete the memories. All you can do is reframe them. So you have to start looking at the situation like this happened for you, not to you. And remember, guys, life is short, and one day when you get out of this, and I promise you will get out of this, once you start coming out of it on the other side, and most of the thoughts in your mind are positive and forward-driven, you're going to look back at all the time that was wasted. I'm not going to say you wasted, but was wasted, ruminating on this situation that was doomed to fail from the beginning. Because if you were with someone that lied to you and cheated on you and made you feel all sorts of panic attacks and anxiety and impending doom and this sense of betrayal, they're traitors, right? They're traitors. That's not who you want to have children with. That's not who you want to marry if you believe in marriage. That's not someone you want as a partner. You can't trust that person. And guess what? You never will be able to trust them again. I know some of you have tried. Believe me, I tried. You can never trust someone that broke your trust, especially if they cheated, especially if they were living a double life. That's horrible. Every time you remember that they were living a double life, every time you remember a certain memory and you're like, oh shit, that's why they didn't answer the phone at that time, because they were with that other person. And sometimes that other person, the other supply, actually contacts you to get answers, and then you discover that you were right all along. More on that in another video. Got some people that have been experiencing similar situation to that, so I'm going to put something together to give you some clarity on a situation if that happens. But look, I'm just happy that for those of you that have been discarded and are seeking content like this or seeking to elevate yourself out of this darkness, I'm very happy to hear that you're doing that. Continue growing the community together. Remember, this is not a you problem. This is an us problem. This is a problem that is growing in magnitude. Narcissists are being created through social media and the new society that we live in. The same shit that you went through, we all went through. Okay? This is not something that only happened to you. The same exact thing, only the names and faces were changed, and maybe a few nuances here and there. But it was the same shit. That's why we all resonate with this material. That's how we all come together. That's how we can all breathe after watching a video like this. And we're like, God damn, somebody out there gets it. It's a crazy situation, but there is hope. There is hope. There's a lot of opportunity. You'll have a blank canvas to start a new life experience, and that's a very good place to be. And if you're not there yet, I can help you get there. So feel free to reach out if you'd like to do some personal one-on-one coaching with me. I do have an online coaching program. I'll give you more details privately over email. Don't be afraid to shoot me an email at info@psychopathexposure.com. And if you'd like some free shit, I've got an ebook that I wrote that's going to help you guys go no contact with these predators, because as long as you have any contact with them, as long as you're stalking their social media, you're never going to get them out of your head. So go ahead and click on the link below so that you can download your free ebook. Download it straight to your computer and on your phone, and make sure you read it every single day. Print it out, paste it on your refrigerator, whatever you got to do. I work with a lot of you guys privately, and you'd be surprised how many people still can go no contact. And they don't even have children, okay? It's not easy. It's not easy. It's a drug. These people are like a drug. It's like a drug addiction. But you have to get them out of your consciousness if you want to heal. And I know that hurts, but one day you're going to look back and be like, God damn, another 10 years went by and I didn't do jack shit with my life. You're going to kick yourself in the ass. You got to do what you got to do now, because life is short. So I love you guys. Happy to be back. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer in a video, shoot me an email or drop a comment below. As always, hit a thumbs up if you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Kita. This is Psychopath Exposure. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.